Mr. Pedro. And I also have another private legal practitioner, that's Christian Malm Hesse, joining us as well. Counsel, good evening. Thank you for joining us. And you heard the petitioner. It's also your learned colleague. It's a lawyer as well. It makes the point quite clearly that to the extent that there's been misappropriation of some funds in this matter, that was the basis for the removal of the Chief Justice, the established matter of stated misbehavior. It cannot be left unattended to. That the fact that she's been removed, that should end the matter. Monies have been misappropriated, and so it has to be refunded. She has to be arrested and prosecuted. That's the demand that he's making of Ioko. I mean, how does this strike you?
Good evening. Good evening to you, my brother, and good evening to viewers or listeners if they are also on the VFM as well. My preliminary comment, with all due respect, even though my learned colleague is definitely my colleague, I would say that it is fanciful. It is fanciful, and it attracts. It looks more dimful, as though to attract contemporary attention than what is duly necessary. And with all due respect and with humility, let me say that, yes, every person is entitled to file a petition. The purpose of this petition, just as has been explained, is for what it's intended to. Indeed, in law, it can be said that before the Article 146 committee sat, the Auditor General had conducted auditing in respect of the judicial service and had come to a certain conclusion, which conclusion never implicated the former Chief Justice of having committed a malfeasance or misappropriation of funds, which one would say that comes under the ambit of causing financial loss, under any of the ambits that the learned lawyer had petitioned under. Because the primordial effect of it would be that. The second effect would now be that he would be seeking to rely his petition on that which the committee convicted the former Chief Justice on.
Yes, and is that not enough grounds for this petition to travel?
That is not enough.
The committee...
That is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
That is not enough, because indeed, if the lawyers for the former Chief Justice are seeking to wage a defense of it, indeed, the mere fact that had happened, that a committee had an adverse finding against the former Chief Justice, and that has occasioned her removal, does not necessarily mean that she has caused financial loss to the state.
Well, and to the extent that...
a position of law.
I see.
That is a position of law that he has to prove. And he who alleges must prove. And it is not necessarily, it cannot necessarily be based on the fact that all that he is wishing to, or all that wishful thinking of his petition is based on that of the committee. It must necessarily be based on accounting evidence which can be extradited or elucidated from the judiciary, a way of auditing accounting.
Well,
But
I want to find out
which
why.
will be corroborated with that of the committee under Article 146.
Okay.
But he cannot necessarily base it on the fact that Article 146, because a number of the things that Article 146 happened, a number of the things that Article 146 committee did are in court. So to base a petition on an unsettled matter cannot necessarily be the waging of war of causing financial loss. Oh, come on.
Which aspect do you describe? No. Which aspect do you describe as unsettled? Is it the matter that she, based on this Daniel Ofori petition, which established the grounds of stated misbehavior, that was actually the basis for her removal, that the misappropriation of the over 337,000 CDs is not established as yet?
So now, yes. So.
Are you saying that has not been established as yet?
No, wait. So there is a stated, the committee under Article 146 jettisons to say that there is a stated misbehavior. Does the stated misbehavior metamorphosize to be causing financial loss? That is a question of law. And if you are advancing your claim as a complainant in a criminal matter, and in a criminal matter, the burden on you is very unwavering to say that indeed, based on that, the person has caused financial loss to the state. Then you ought to establish the intention, that is the measure and the accusation. And you have a very high burden to establish that. So if the complainant, albeit the petitioner, is claiming that I have, aside the fact that Article 146 committee has established that, I have all the necessary evidence to show that indeed the former Chief Justice has satisfied all the elements convicted for financial loss, then that is the situation. But
right.
If it is not enough, then it is merely a petition that is meant for the news portal for sensation.
I see. So, well, the petitioner is on Zoom, so he's listening to you. Counsel, hold on a bit. Hold on. Yes, indeed, you made the point. And I'll come back to you, Lawyer